In the last module, we talked about we ended at the psychology behind feeling stuff. No, no, scratch that. In the last module, we ended on the psychology behind feeling stuck. Where I said you should share your struggles. I'm reading it, I'm seeing your struggles, keep it coming. Okay? Now we're going to talk about the mindset trap. As you can see, it's a cycle. It starts with one negative thought and it moves on and on and on to a negative emotion. What you think, you feel. What you feel, you act or don't act. And when you act, you face the consequences, the emotional consequences of your actions. When you feel negative thoughts, when you think negative thoughts, you feel negative emotions, then you don't act. You don't do anything about it. Oh, I'm not sufficient anyways. I don't know how to do this thing. So you move on with your life. Then you begin to feel guilty. When you see people who are on the same level with you now surpassing you, you begin to feel guilty. But then it goes back to negative thoughts. You begin to build jealousy and envy towards them. Oh, how do I know that she didn't sleep with someone to climb the ladder? How do I know that they didn't do rituals to make this money? And it goes back into the negative thoughts. So that's the cycle of self doubt. Now, until you disrupt this loop, clarity won't come. If you don't disrupt this loop at some point, either at the point of the negative thought, or the point of the negative emotion, or the point of inaction, or the point of feeling guilty, when you have negative thoughts, you affirm immediately. You speak out against that negative thought and you affirm immediately, and your emotions begin to change. You affirm until you feel your emotions change in your heart. When if it's in the negative emotion loop, you begin to speak to yourself, pray over yourself, speak it to yourself, speak to yourself. Oh, I can do this, I can do this, I'm unstoppable. Somebody writing with me, I'm unstoppable, I can do this, I can feel this, I'm above and beyond, I can do better. When you are in that set where you begin to stop these emotions in its track, then you can take action. If you don't stop it, you don't take action. When you stop it, you take action. If the loop catches you in the point of guilt or at the point of feeling guilty, one thing you can do is speak up against it. Oh no, I didn't come this far to stop here. I'm going to move forward from here. I'm going to take the next steps. This is where I want to be. I'm going to achieve that goal. For you to take the first step, you don't have to have it figured out. So don't wait until you have it all figured out because you will never have it all figured out. And if you wait to have it all figured out, then you'll never do anything. One thing you do need to do, however, is decide that you deserve better. Tell yourself, I deserve better. Write it in the comments, speak it out to yourself in the mirror. I deserve better. I want to see that in the comments everywhere. I deserve better. I am Lady B and I deserve better. Call your name. I am Bigbe and I deserve better. I am John and I deserve better. I am Sarah and I deserve better. Because the truth is, it is only when you take the first step that the next step becomes clear. When you solve the first problem, problem number two becomes problem number one, and you solve that again. Problem number three becomes problem number two, that becomes problem number one, and you solve that again. When you look back, you're able to see how far you have come. The journey ahead of you might be long, but where you're coming from will tell you how far you have come. So look ahead and keep your eyes on the focus, but look behind and see your journey, see your victories, see your success. Do not sit in the loop of self doubt. It is a crazy place to be in. If you find yourself there, snap out of it immediately. Write positive affirmations. Affirm, affirm, affirm. Speak it out. Words are powerful. If you say it, you believe. If you say it enough, you begin to believe it. Why do you think people tell lies to the point that they begin to believe their lies? They've said it over and over time that they begin to believe it. And words are powerful. They don't just go into the world and stay there. They act, they move, they flow, they're seeds. You plant with your words. So would you rather, if you have a garden that you know is very fertile and you are a fertile ground, say it after me, I am a fertile ground. I am Lady B and I'm a fertile ground. Put your hands on your chest. I am Lady B and I am a fertile ground. If you don't know what to say, put my name. If you're given a land, if you're given a land to plant and you're given a seed, the value of your crop is dependent on your land and the type of your seed. Is your seed good? Is your land good? Then sow the seed. Even bad seeds sometimes grow on good soil with nurturing. If you have a seed, now maybe it's partly eaten, so maybe a whole seed and it's partly eaten or it's cut into half, and you plant it and you take care of that seed, continuously water it, feed it with manure, over time it will sprout. One seed bears a mighty tree with many other fruits. Imagine how one word, one negative word, how many fruits it's going to bear, planted and growing in the mind, in the land of your mind. So imagine if that was a good seed. You were created in the image of God. Have you seen water lilies? Have you seen peacocks? They are beautiful. What do they do to be so beautiful? Nothing. Have you seen the way a peacock stands and flaps his wings and raises up all of its feathers and shows you how beautiful it is? And many people say, oh, as proud as a peacock. If it were you that had so much beauty, wouldn't you be proud? Imagine if the peacock just went about carrying all of those beautiful feathers, like maybe if you've seen a peacock's feather when it's closed, imagine it went about acting just like that. You will not appreciate a peacock for what it is. But it shows up, it shows itself, it expands, it tells you, oh, hey, look how beautiful I am. A water lily grows on water, it doesn't have roots, it's not planted in sand. You can't put load on it, you can't step on it. But when you see water lilies cover water, you will not believe that there is nothing holding them underneath. And then the creator of those creatures that were not created in the image of God now looks at you and says, I'm going to create you in my image. You are excellent by nature. Snap out of this loop. Say it after me. I am excellent by nature. You were created to dominate. You were created to expand. You were created for influence. Tell yourself you're influential. Why do you think other people you see, or maybe social media people you see that look like they're living their lives? Because they are walking in their influence. They understand the capacity that they carry and they're walking in that capacity. Between me and you know that if you wanted to get started on something today, you would get started on it. If you wanted to go for a beauty regimen, you would do it. If you wanted to go get a new pair of shoes, you would do it. So why should you carry your career like someone is begging you to deal with it? Say after me, I am made for excellence. I am excellent. I am made for excellence. I am made for more. Say after me, I am made for more. As we try to bring this first day to an end, let me talk to you about where you want to be. We started with where are you? That's your current state. Now, where do you want to be? That is your future state. I don't want these videos to be too lengthy for you. So let's come back in module 3 and talk about where you want to be.